Welcome to our Chalk Talk video on how to stop the virtualization blame game. The problem we hear is that virtualization gets blamed for a number of problems, and that makes sense. It's the new kid on the block, and the new kid on the block always gets blamed for all the problems until they can prove that it's not them, it's something else. So the challenge you have as a virtualization administrator is how do you prove that virtualization isn't at fault? To do that, you need to find out what actually is at fault. You have a higher standard you have to adhere to. So what problems does virtualization commonly get blamed for? We hear about slow applications. The application is slow today, and I know you just virtualized it, and therefore you must be the problem. Or it could be intermittent performance problems, hiccups, glitches that occur during the day for a short period of time and then disappear, and no one can ever figure out what it was, so they blame virtualization. So the real question is what's causing these hiccups? Now, we all know that VMs don't operate by themselves. And you have tools like CPU, you've got memory, you've got disk information. But that's only a part of what's going on with this VM. This VM is interacting with other things on the infrastructure. It's running an application that an end user is accessing. It's maybe talking with other VMs, talking to storage. So if you can see these interactions and communications, you can identify what's driving CPU usage and what may be causing the performance problems. Xangati was called into a customer a while back that was virtualizing its EMR application, electronic medical records. And they'd been trying to do this for quite a while, and when they were at a complete standstill, the application was not performing. And they couldn't figure out why. So we installed Xangati, and in under 2 hours, from the time we deployed it to the time we found the problem, it was under 2 hours. What we found was that this VM was talking to another VM. And this communication, well, no other tool would show that communication. It's called intra-ESX communications. So the VMs were on the same host. They were talking, it was all in the virtual world. Nothing else could show them that communication. Xangati did. And these two VMs were talking so intently that they were basically bringing the host to its knees, and the application was not performing. That's kind of a serious problem. But in this case, it wasn't a virtualization problem, it was an application problem. So they could stop the virtualization blame game. Now, of course, how do we do this? Well, yes, we showed you the VM to VM communication for this record. But to do that, we also had to understand what the application was. So Xangati can identify any application, so you can track what's that application doing on the VM and between VMs. Now you might be saying, well, that sounds like a network thing, right? If these VMs were on different hosts, then I'd see that with my network tools. And the answer is, well, yes, you'd see that one piece with your network tools, but you wouldn't see it in the virtual world, and you as a virtualization administrator won't have access to these tools. So you can't defend yourself from the blame game, which is a problem. So you do need to look outside of just virtualization. Now there are a lot of things that you may see here. You're looking at, say, this application. Another thing may cause a performance problem with this application. It may be that something else is clogging that application's communication. Maybe there's an iSCSI traffic that's going on that's not allowing those VMs to communicate. Maybe there's a backup job that's going on, a recovery job that's going on. All of those things can slow down an application that have nothing to do with the application, nothing to do with virtualization, but everything to do with perceived performance. Another thing, virtual NIC cards. VMs have them, the hosts have them. Are they configured properly? Are you sending the right type of traffic through the right NIC card? Xangati can show you that information. So what's the solution to this blame game? Well, we describe it very simply. First, you need to see it, see what's happening, see where the problem is. You need to record it, because it may not happen for that long a period of time, and you record it so that you can share it. So by seeing it, recording it, and sharing it, you share it to the people, you prove that virtualization is not to blame. Now, we talked about app traffic, VM traffic. The other thing Xangati can show is they can show what an end user is doing with a VM. How many end users are on an application that a VM is running? What networks is this traffic going over? What servers are being accessed? What storage is being accessed? What's the latency to that storage? And if you're a cloud provider or looking at cloud applications, we can show you all this visibility for your private cloud, or if you're a public cloud provider, for your public cloud. So what are the next steps? Well, if you want to end the virtualization blame game in your organization, I suggest going to Xangati.com and downloading our free Xangati for ESX. It will give you full visibility into all the VMs on a single host, all their interactions. If you have more than a few hosts, you may want to look at our Xangati management dashboard, which can give you visibility into from 2 hosts to 200 hosts to 2,000 hosts. And to request a Xangati management dashboard evaluation, you email info@xangati.com. Thank you very much for joining our Chalk Talk. I hope I have helped you stop the blame game in your organization.